Hey everyone, I'm going to take a look at the new Champions League Player of the Week selection on eFootball. I've already reviewed the regular Player of the Week pack yesterday. That's live on the channel along with a video of some of the new player faces with the update. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description for every player, so if you want to hear about particular players, click on the description, there'll be a link to take you straight to them. So let's have a look at who we got. We have a 4-star, yay! Let's start with him. And it is this guy. So he plays for Lille. He is usually an anchor man, and they've added a bunch of positions, so played a much more attacking role in this game. They've added centre midfield and attacking midfield. They've also made him semi-proficient at SS, so you could position train him for SS if you could actually position train these cards, but you can't. So yeah, we've got centre mid and attacking mid now. He's down as an attacking mid whole player. The weaker foot's gone up quite a bit to very high accuracy. And comparing to his GP cards, the first time I've had a special card of this guy. He's quite young, unsurprisingly not got a face yet, but yeah, compared to his GP card, obviously he's been given a more attacking role than he normally has, so he's lost a lot of points off his defenses compared to his GP card, but pretty much everywhere else he's had a pretty nice boost, especially this left column. Really nice boost compared to his GP column. Shooting's had a massive boost, so yeah, it's obviously a different version in terms of the type of player he is, the profile he's got, but it's a big boost from his GP card. It's obviously the best version of him. It's the first feature version. But yeah, and looking at the skills as well, already got these defensive skills, mind marking, interception, area, and superiority. Everything above those bottom three has been added. So we got soul control, chip shots, first time shot, one touch pass, through passing. So he's got a good selection of skills there as well, and he's had a nice boost from his GP card. So that all sounds very positive, but the bad news is it's a 4-star card. He's 90 rated, and it's really not great. I don't really see anyone outside of Lille fans really getting much value out of this guy. You know, the ball control's decent enough, low pass, could be worse, but it's not brilliant. He's got a bit of defensive ability for an attacking player. Down the right, kind of okay in some areas, bit of physical strength, but yeah, ultimately it's just a 4-star card. It might be a good version of him compared to his GP card, but his GP card's absolutely awful. And this card, I don't think it's going to give many people much value, unfortunately. So yeah, big upgrade compared to his GP card, but it's just not a great card looking at it objectively. Next we have our first version of Gerard Martín from Barcelona. So young left back. I'm not sure that's his correct age. I thought he was younger than that, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, we've got a guy who can play left back and centre back, but he's not got the defensive attributes to play centre back. Clearly, he's very much a left back. He's been changed from a defensive fullback to an attacking fullback. A few of his attributes are pretty much the same as his GP card, but most have had a nice boost. On the whole, it's a pretty decent boost from his GP card. So it's a good version of him. Obviously, the first version we've had outside of his GP card. And yeah, he kind of looks alright. We'll just quickly look at his skills. They've added... What have they added? So he already had one touch pass, interception and sliding tackle. They've added man marking and blocker. They've added through passing, pinpoint crossing. So we've got a really good selection of skills for an attacking fullback here. So one touch, through passing and pinpoint going forward. And then defensively, man marking, interception, blocker, sliding tackle, fighting spirit. That is a really good selection of skills for an attacking fullback. And looking at his ability, his attributes, he's decent. He's not amazing. I'd like a bit more pace on him. He's not slow, but he's not particularly quick either. Good physical strength for a fullback, not good balance. Stamina's fine, defensive attributes down here are fine, not the most aggressive, but the rest are already 80 before your game plan boost. On the ball control's decent for a fullback. Dribbling, you can get away with that. It's about 6'1" though, so I'm not sure with that low balance and that dribbling, and especially with tight possession only 70. Don't ask too much when you're on the ball. Don't start trying to dribble past players and twist and turn. You're probably going to get found out. Low and lofted pass are decent though, especially low pass, and he's got one touch and through passing as well, so good passing for a fullback. The crossing, not going to be brilliant, but he's got pinpoint crossing and lofted pass, will go past the 80 mark, so it'll be alright. So end product looking pretty decent for a fullback. On the ball, okay, as long as you don't ask too much of him. I think defensively he's reasonably strong. Could do with a bit more pace and a bit more balance, but he's got a good selection of skills, so there's one or two downsides to this guy. Obviously, he's not got his face scan yet, but he's a Barcelona player, so he will soon. But yeah, like I say, could be a bit quicker. The tight possession and balance are a bit of a concern, but outside of that, lots of qualities there, great selection of skills. So most of us probably have better left back options, but you could certainly do worse. I think it's a decent enough card. And next we have Daizen Maeda from Celtic. So Maeda's been changed from a roaming flank to a prolific winger. He's got his normal positions though. We've had a couple of well, we've had one player of the week version of Maeda previously. That was a regular player of the week selection. It wasn't quite as good as this one. And we got a player of the month version of Maeda ages ago when they did a Scottish League player of the month pack. I wish they still did packs like that, but that particular Maeda card was a long time ago. It was nowhere near as good as this one. Trainable versions of him, we've had a couple from either Showtime or Legend boxes that are pretty similar on the whole. One from a Japan pack, I think, that wasn't quite as good as this one. So all in all, it's about as good a version of Maeda as we've had, possibly the best. Depends which way you look at it, because obviously he's not trainable. And compared to his GP card, lost a bit of pace, but they have boosted him on the whole quite well. The passing and finishings are the biggest boost. He's got more end product than he normally does. And if we look at the skills, he already had first time shot, penalty specialist, track back and fighting spirit. They've added an interception. Interesting. Long range curler, that's a good one. So if you're going to play him in his register position on the left, cutting inside onto his right foot, long range curler is a very good one to have. First time shot as well. Finishing over 80 before your game plan boost. So yeah, I think that's clearly what this guy's going to be best at. He's got the pace, cutting inside, getting into positions to score goals with that long range curl and first time shot and decent finishing attribute. Could be well capable of getting goals for you, but he's not brilliant on the ball. His passing's not great. No passing skills there. So yeah, as a version of Maeda, yeah, good. About as good as you're going to get as a version of Maeda, but ultimately, I don't think this is a great card. I mean, certainly he's got centre forward, but he's not got the attacking awareness to play as a centre forward and not got the finishing either, really. But as a wide man, I wouldn't touch him on the right. He's not got outside curler. He's not got he has got pinpoint crossing, but 69 lofted pass. Yeah, he's not playing on the right for me. He's not putting any crosses in. I think he's definitely a guy you're going to want to use on the left to get the most out of him. But even at his best in that position, for me, yes, he's quick and he can finish, but he needs to be better on the ball. And yeah, ultimately, I think that's really what kills it, to be honest. You can get away with the passing not being great because the finishing's decent, but the balance isn't brilliant, and on the ball he needs to be better. So there are some qualities there. It's a good version of Maeda, but looking at it in isolation, it's not a brilliant card on the whole. I won't be too pleased if I get this guy from one of my spins. And this is a card I will be pleased with if I get him. So I've always been a fan of this guy since years back when he was young. I used to sign him in Master League and play him as a left winger. I love Di Maria, he's great. I've already got a good version of him on this game. We've had quite a few versions. I've got one of the better ones. It was in some kind of, well, I don't know what pack it was. It's got a kind of yellowy gold background. I think it was maybe a Portuguese league pack or something. I don't know. Someone can point that out for me. But yeah, we've got a cross specialist Di Maria basically. This is the key with this Di Maria card. This is the one real difference compared to previous versions, because we've had quite a few, like I mentioned. We've had some trainables, we've had some player of the weeks, but I don't think we've had a cross specialist before. He's normally a playmaker. I think we've maybe had a prolific winger at one point. But yeah, we have a cross specialist. It's not the most common playing style for a winger. And it's not one that everyone likes. If you do like that playing style, this could be a very interesting card, but some people don't like it because with the cross specialist, what he's going to do, he's just going to hug the touchline, he's going to stay out wide, he's going to be constantly looking to get into positions to cross the ball from out wide. He won't be drifting inside as much as a roaming flank or a prolific winger, for example. So it might not be the playing style for you, but if it is, this could be a very nice card because it is a decent version of Di Maria, to be honest. We've had a few player of the week cards. There was a Champions League one and a regular wide one, both one lower in terms of the overall rating, but the stats are shuffled around. They were both creative playmakers. I don't think they're a million miles off, to be honest. It just depends which attributes you prioritise. There was a World Cup player of the week card as well. It's slightly higher rated, but not a massive difference on the whole. And that was a prolific winger card. And if you compare them to the better trainable versions of Di Maria, it depends. Like I say, you've got the playing style and the attributes are shuffled around there somewhere. You've got a little bit more pace. Like my version, for example, I've trained him up to have quite a lot more pace than this. Some of them are a bit better on the ball, a bit better passing, whatever. And it depends how you train the trainable ones. But this is a good version of Di Maria on the whole, to be honest. Compared to his GP card, it's really the right column because he's getting older now. Obviously, he's well into his 30s. With his GP card, he doesn't have as much pace and kind of athleticism as this version of him does. They've boosted him there primarily. He's a bit worse on the ball than his GP card, but he's still good though. Certainly the ball control and dribbling are both going to hit 90 with your game plan boost. He's got a good end product with their passing. He's got a good cross on him. Yeah, they boosted his end product a little bit actually as well. Let's have a look at his skills, what they've done. So we've lost flip flap. I think we've lost chip shot control. We've lost Rabona. I think we can live without that. And we've gained soul control. That's nice. That's a nice addition for Di Maria. I think that's new. We've got long range shooting, another good one, and one touch pass. So I think that's a very nice trade with the skills. I think that's a good upgrade. So long range curler, long range shooting with his shooting, and his finishing will go past 80 with the game plan boost. And then we've also got one touch pass and through passing, weighted pass as well. Heel trick and outside curler, two very nice ones to have, but pinpoint crossing there. I was about to talk about that. Pinpoint crossing, his lofted pass is going past 90 with the game plan boost. He's got 90 curl before your game plan boost, kicking power in the 80s. His crossing is going to be really nice. You can play him on the right hand side. He's got outside curler, he's quite one-footed. Whether you're going to cut inside and do in-swinging crosses or try and do an outside curler, I don't know. I think he's best on the left though. With this playing style, that's what this card's going to be best at, putting him on the left, whipping crosses in. He's not the quickest for a winger. He's got decent pace for Di Maria, but looking at it in isolation, not great pace. That might put people off him. For me, it probably would put me off a bit if it wasn't for the fact that I like this guy. But he is good on the ball, and his passing is decent. For a wide man, his low pass is good. If you're going to play him through the middle, which you can, he'll be playing without an active playing style. 84 is not brilliant for low pass. He does have all the passing skills, so you could do a job as an attacking mid. As an SS, I think he can be pretty decent. Playing as an SS behind the attack with no active playing style, attacking where it's hitting 80, finishing going past 80. As an SS, I think his passing is very decent. On the ball, he's tidy. He's got a good skill set for it, so you could use him as an SS. If you don't like the cross specialist playing style and you get this card, could be an SS for you. But like I say, as a cross specialist left-hand side, slightly lacking in pace, but outside of that, he's technically very nice, can have a very nice cross on him. So yeah, I am a bit biased because I love this guy in the game. I'll be very pleased if I get this card, but again, looking at it in isolation, probably not quite got the pace to play out wide. He's a bit lacking stamina and lacking a bit in balance as well, to be fair. So athletically, you might find that a bit concerning, but as a version of Di Maria, he's actually been boosted a bit here. So for some people, could be a very nice old school left winger. Could actually be a very tidy SS behind the attack as well. Not going to be for everyone though, but certainly for me, I'll be very pleased if I get this card. And next we have Tammy. So I'm not sure he quite deserved to be in. Yeah, he scored once, possibly scored twice. So I kind of half watched that game. I had it on in the background. Didn't think he did anything that special, but yeah, Tammy makes it in. Goal poacher as usual. Outside of the legend version that we had a while back of Abraham, that was the best version of him that we've had, unsurprisingly. But apart from that, we've had a bunch of training balls, and this is pretty much par for the course. It's around about the same level as most, to be honest. We had a nominated contract one not too long ago. That one as well is pretty similar to this. There's not a lot of difference. The main difference with this version of Tammy is they've put a nice boost on his low pass, so his passing is better than it tends to be. So that's the one major difference here. If you're comparing to his GP card, we've lost a few points off balance. They do a lot of attacking players. That's really annoying. And they've also taken a few points from his set pieces. Don't really see what the point is in that. But like I say, low pass had a nice boost. They've put a fair few points in his defending as well, and also given him interception and track back. I must have missed the part in the game where he tracked back and made an interception, but I guess he did that at some point. They've also added, I think, cut behind and turn is new, long range curler, and through passing. So not only have they boosted his low pass, they're good in through passing as well. That is interesting. If you like your strikers to be able to pass the ball, this might be a nice version of Tammy for you. We've lost gamesmanship. I think we can live without that, but yeah, pretty good selection skills on Tammy. First time shot, acrobatic finishing, long range curler they've added, and through passing is obviously a nice addition. It's a shame with Tammy that he's quite a tall guy. He's not got heading or aerial superiority. My friend who I play co-op with has got a GP card of Tammy, and he always brings him to co-op, and he always goes on about how great Tammy is in the air. And I've got to be honest, he does actually do quite well in the air for us, even though his jumping's terrible and he's not got the heading skills. So in my experience, he's actually still decent in the air, even without heading or aerial superiority. If he had heading and aerial superiority, he'd probably be amazing in the air. But yeah, outside of the lack of the aerial skills, he does have a good selection skills for a striker. And like I say, the one most interesting thing with this card is the passing ability, boost on low pass, through passing skill added. So he's going to be much better at passing than he normally is. But outside of that, just being brutally honest, there's nothing special about it. It's just another Tammy card, really pretty similar level to most versions of him. He's a goal poacher with fairly average pace. I always say I'd like a bit more pace on the goal poacher. He's not got great balance. They have nerfed that bit from his GP card for some absurd reason. Attacking awareness and finishing both kind of fall short of 90 with your maximum game plan boost, so they could be a bit higher. On the ball, I guess he could be worse. He's kind of just decent everywhere, just not amazing anywhere. So yeah, I don't think it's a bad card, but I just don't think it's an amazing one. I don't think that many people are going to be too desperate to get this card, but it's certainly not a bad card. Maybe it's one worth keeping hold of for the Italian League Challenge if we need a striker option, but yeah, ultimately, as a version of Tammy, there's nothing really special about it. They've just made him much better at passing, really. So not a bad card at all, but not one to get too excited about either. And then next is Marcos Llorente. So we've had a few versions of him on eFootball. We've had some trainable ones. We've had some Player of the Week ones. He's a player who I think most people by now know he's super useful for the fact that he's got so many positions, but he's mainly useful in that regard when you can train him. These obviously aren't trainable cards, so that could mean we're a bit limited in terms of his versatility, but let's see how good he is. He's an attacking fullback, normally a box-to-box. Obviously, down to right back, had a really good game at fullback for Atletico. I thought they were going to put Julian Alvarez in, to be honest, because he scored a hat-trick, but yeah, we got Llorente. He did have a good game. So yeah, attacking fullback. Like I said, we've had previous versions of Llorente. We've had a regular Player of the Week version of him that was a right back. The overall rating was, I think, one lower than this one, but the stats are kind of shuffled around a little bit. Pretty similar on the whole. We had a few other Player of the Weeks for kind of centre mid. I think one was SS or centre forward as well. But to be honest, that even those cards are pretty similar at right back. To be honest, they're not too dissimilar. You could use all those cards as a right back, and they're not too different to this one in terms of the attributes. And in terms of all the trainable versions we've had a couple of nominated contract ones. I think there was a club icon one, and there was another one in some other nominated contract pack, I think. But if you look at those, and if you train all of those as a right back, again, pretty similar really. It's not a massive difference. So at first glance, you're thinking, oh, it's a good right back version of Llorente, but really, it's just a Llorente card. There's really nothing that special about it, really. But it is a good card. He's had a decent boost from his GP card. The pace is decent enough for a right back. Physical contact's decent enough. I'd like a bit more balance. He's always a bit lacking there. Stamina's good. The defensive attributes, pretty strong. He's pretty strong defensively, and down the left he's pretty strong as well, especially for a right back. Those are good attributes. Most of these are on the ball and passing are 80 plus before your game plan boost, so that's good. Very high attacking awareness for a fullback. Be careful with that. In my experience, when an attacking fullback has high attacking awareness, and for an attacking fullback, I would say anything over 70 is quite high. I do find that they get forward a lot. You don't always want that, so be careful with that. You might find he gets forward a bit more than you want him to. Finishing is great for a fullback. If we look at the skills, what they've done with the skills in Llorente, so they've taken away cut behind and turn, they've taken away dipping shot, and they've given him pinpoint crossing and man marking. Good trade, very good trade. So going forward, a long range curler for a right footer on the right hand side. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that, but first time shot could be handy when he gets forward. Like I say, he does have high attacking awareness and finishing for a fullback. So got a first time shot, and then one touch pass, through passing, pinpoint crossing, outside curler. Got some very good skills going forward. And then defensively, man marking, track back, interception, fighting spirit. So for an attacking fullback, very good selection of skills. Yeah, so on the whole, I think this is a good solid right back. Not to sound negative, but like I say, most people a lot of people have probably got a pretty good version of Llorente by now. If you have, you probably don't really need this card, although they have done a good trade with the skills, giving him crossing and man marking. But yeah, on the whole, it's a pretty good right back card. And in terms of the versatility, could you play him in other positions? I think as a right midfielder, certainly as a right wing back, he could be very, very good. If you use wing backs, I think this guy could be a really useful option as a right wing back. As an actual winger, if you're playing fullbacks and wingers, a kind of 4-4-2 type of formation, not sure he's quite got enough going forward down that left column, but he can certainly do a job for you. And then through the middle, doesn't always have one touch pass and through buzzing. I forget which one it is. I think is it one touch pass he often doesn't have, but he's got it this time. As a centre mid, maybe. For me, 84 is a bit dodgy on low pass. He's not the strongest physically. So yeah, I'm not too sure how good he would be in the middle of the midfield, but he could do a job for you. And then has he got enough going forward with these technical attributes to play attacking mid or SS? Not for me. So as always with Llorente, he is versatile. He can play multiple positions, but you can't retrain him to make him really, really strong in other positions. So he could do a job in some positions, but I think as a right wing back could be fantastic. As a right back, very attacking, but he's got some strong defensive attributes and he's got the skills. So yeah, attacking right back or right wing back with the skills, with the attributes, very good. There's just nothing that special about him compared to other versions of Llorente. So if you've got a good version of him, I wouldn't get too excited. You might not feel that you need this one, but certainly if you don't have a good version, and if you like the look of this one, I do think it's a strong card, useful with the versatility, but especially right back or as a right wing back, could be a very good card. And next we have Stefan, and I'm never sure if it's De Vrij or De Vrij. I'll say De Vrij, Stefan De Vrij. So, Destroyer. Normally build up. They've made him a Destroyer this time. Unwavering form. pretty solid on the whole. It's a pretty solid looking centre-back card. We've had a few Player of the Week versions of him. There are a couple that weren't quite as good as this. There's one that's about the same overall, but that one is more about the left column being boosted, not so much the middle and right column, so slightly shuffled around that one. So this could be a pretty interesting version of De Vrij for you. We've had a legend card of De Vrij a while back. That's obviously the best version we've had of him. That was a really good looking card. We've had a couple of trainable ones as well, not quite as high rated, but you can retrain them and shuffle the points around. They're not a million miles away from this one, to be honest. But yeah, it's a good solid version of him compared to a GP card. He's been nerfed a bit defensively down the middle there, which is always annoying on his centre-backs, but he's still strong enough, I think. What they've done is mainly the right column. That always seems to be the case with Player of the Week centre-backs, and that's what they've done again this time. He's got more pace than he normally does, more stamina. He's had a nice boost down here. And yeah, on the whole, I think he's a nice looking, well-balanced centre-back. For me personally, it's a shame he's not a build-up this time, because I prefer the build-up playing style on centre-back, but that's purely personal preference. He might prefer destroyers. Destroyer's not too bad for me. I don't mind that. But the way he's built, he looks like he'd be lovely as a build-up for me. He's got nice passing there, low pass 76 on it for a centre-back. If we look at the skills, they have changed absolutely nothing as far as I can see. So pretty solid selection of skills for a centre-back. Heading in there, superiority, and then we've got man marking, interception, blocker, slide, and tackle, acrobatic clearance, captaincy, fighting spirit. I think that's pretty much the perfect selection of skills for a centre-back. I don't think there's anything missing there. He's got everything he needs. It would be nice if he had 1 or 2 passing skills maybe, but he's got a nice low pass attribute there. And yeah, like I say, it's just a good solid centre-back really. With the game plan boost, it's only aggression. It's going to fall short of 90, but even that's going to get to 89. Everything else will be 90 plus. Solid pace for a centre-back. Not quick, but not too slow either. Physical strength is good. He's not got brilliant jumping, but he does have aerial superiority. It's about 6'2", 6'3". He'll be okay in the air. Stamina is good, obviously, with the boost they've given him, and low pass is good over on the left there. Not brilliant heading, but could be worse. So yeah, not a great deal to say about this De Vrij card really. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. There's nothing amazing about him. Not really done much. Obviously, I've not changed anything with the skills. And with the attributes, he's just a good solid centre-back really. I don't see any weakness there. I would prefer the build-up playing style, but Destroyer's fine. You might prefer Destroyer. So ultimately, yeah, it's just a good solid centre-back. So if you've got better options, you might not be too excited to get it. But again, maybe it's primarily for the Italian League challenge. It'd be worth keeping hold of. For me personally, I think that's what I'll be doing if I get this card. I'll keep it for that the Italian League challenge. I think it'd be a very useful option for that. But yeah, quite simply, it's just a good solid centre-back. And now we have Charlie de Ketelaere. So this one's an interesting card. He's been so good for Atalanta since he joined him last season. He's a whole player as he usually is. This looks like it might be the best version of de Ketelaere that we've had. It's a booster. Let's just activate the booster straight away. So yeah, this is looking very nice. We've had a few Player of the Week versions of him, but none of them quite as good as this one previously. The weaker foot's actually more accurate than it normally is. That's been nudged up a bit. That's good. But yeah, the previous Player of the Week's not quite as good. There was a booster Player of the Week card last season, I think it was. But it's fantastic on the ball, better than this one, but elsewhere not quite as good. So this is looking like, I think, like I say, the best version we've had of him. The trainable versions of him, again, tend to be a bit better on the ball, but just not as good elsewhere. And even one that was in, I think, a legend box. Not far off this one overall, to be honest, but I think this one is the best. So this is a very interesting looking card to me. I do like a whole player as an SS behind my main striker. So this guy would be a very interesting option for me. Compared to his GP card, it's mainly the end product that's had the biggest boost, and his physical strength and jumping and heading, I think, as well. And on the whole, decent boost. It's looking like a very nice version of him. He's very tidy in the ball. As a tall guy, I mean, he's about 6'3", 6'4". Balance isn't brilliant. He's not got brilliant dribbling. He's not going to be that great at dribbling. I'm not sure how much joy you're going to have trying to dribble past defenders with him, but he's certainly very tidy in the ball. He's going to be comfortable in possession, good passing, very decent finishing and attacking awareness. On a whole player, already in the 80s for finishing and attacking awareness before your game plan boost. And down the right hand side, he's not brilliant. He's not got brilliant pace. He's not got brilliant anything down the right hand side, to be honest, but they have boosted him a bit on a bunch of these attributes compared to how good he normally is. So he's a good version of him, but if you're going to look at it in isolation, you could say you'd want a bit more from him athletically. Just depends on what you prioritise in terms of the different areas of of his attributes and stuff. But yeah, unwavering form, which is good. You could use him as a centre forward, to be honest, but attacking awareness and finishing for me a bit low. I'd like him to be a bit higher for a centre forward, so I'm not sure I would. I think this guy is going to be a number 10, either an attacking midfielder or an SS with the whole player playing style. Can pass and shoot. If we look at the skills, as you see, one touch pass, through passing, weighted pass. It's got pinpoint crossing now as well. What have they added? They've added pinpoint crossing and they've added long range shooting. That's it. So long range shooting is a good addition, and his finishing's already 83. So he's got a shot on him. And then, like I said, with the passing, one-touch pass, through passing, weighted pass, he's got good low pass attributes. Got pinpoint crossing now as well. Heel trick and outside curler are nice. This is a nice looking version of the Ketelaere. Like I say, not brilliant athletically, but better than he normally is. Tidy on the ball, the awareness and the finishing, certainly with the passing when he's on A form. This is a good looking card. I'll be very pleased if I get this card, to be honest. He's got end product, he can score goals, he can create goals. And yeah, as far as I can see, this is the best version of him that we've had in the game so far. So I'll be very pleased if I get this card. And I think as a player in that area of the pitch, similar to when I was talking about Sunset and the regular player of the week pack yesterday, he's quite tall. He's a big and tall guy. He's not going to be much of a dribbler, so that might not suit it might not be the kind of profile you want from a player in that area. But if the profile does work for you, like I say, with the strengths he's got technically, the fact that he can score goals and create goals, I think this looks like a very nice card, to be honest. And speaking of players who are going to be good at getting forward into good attacking positions, it's Manuel Neuer. So this is an interesting version of Neuer. We had a Champions League Player of the Week version previously. I actually got that card. Same overall rating, although I would say the goalkeeping attributes on that previous one are slightly better. But this one, it's about the left column because they've given him a nice boost down the left-hand side. So ball control's up to 70, low pass in the 70s, lofted pass in the 80s. For a goalkeeper, you've got some very nice technical attributes there. You might not think that's important, in which case this might be a pretty pointless version of Neuer, but he's still good at goalkeeping. It's still a good version. If you look at the previous trainable versions of Neuer, I think there's one from a Bayern pack that was the best, slightly better goalkeeping attributes, but apart from that, this is up there with the better version of Neuer just in terms of the goalkeeping attributes, and then you've got this left column as a bonus. So yeah, it's a nice version of Neuer, and that's before you look at the skills. They've given him weighted pass and low lofted pass. So yeah, as far as distribution goes, this looks like one of the better goalkeepers in the game. I've actually got a featured Ederson card, and I've given him a whole bunch of passing skills, and I've trained his passing up, and my Ederson's got the best distribution of any goalkeeper in the game. I don't get what anyone says, but this guy's not far off, to be fair. Weighted pass, low lofted pass. He's got his usual skills as well. Low punt, long throw, penalty saver, captaincy. He's going to have great distribution. Technically, he's great for a goalie, as I say. Obviously, I've nerfed his jumping. They always do on Player of the Week goalkeepers. Kicking power, I think that's pretty high for a goalie as well. But the goalkeeping attributes are still pretty high. Yes, the catching's a bit dodgy, but powering's reasonable enough. The awareness and reflexes both hitting 90 with a maximum game plan boost, and the reach is at 90 already on a goalkeeper who's 6'4". So obviously he's going to be great at shot stopping, and they've now made him really good at distribution as well. So if you don't mind the fact he's going to keep going walkabout and wandering up to the halfway line, obviously you're going to get lobbed now and then. Happens to the best of us, but if you don't mind that, this is a really good goalkeeper card. It's a fun one with the fact that they've made him so much better technically and given him the really good distribution with the skills and the attributes they've given him. So yeah, just in terms of the goalkeeping, good version of Neuer. And they've obviously given you the bonus down the left-hand column. So if you don't mind the fact that he's going to go wandering around like Neuer does, could be a really fun goalkeeper card to have. And now we've got Alexis Mac Allister from Liverpool. So he did have a good game against Real Madrid, scored, but I think Conor Bradley got done dirty. Bradley at right back pocketed Mbappe. I thought Bradley had a brilliant game. I think he's been done dirty. Mac Allister getting in ahead of him. But like I say, Mac Allister did play well. And this card, I have to say, if you look at the previous version of Mac Allister, he's got a booster. But even before the boost, it's one of the better versions of Mac Allister that we've had. But if you activate that boost, looking at the previous versions, I think this may well be the best version. I think, to be honest, in terms of the attributes and everything, it probably is. But it might just be the playing style, because you've had a few previous versions, like some Player of the Week ones, where there was one, I think it was a Champions League Player of the Week, was a whole player, and there was a box-to-box Player of the Week and a regular Player of the Week. So depending on the player style, if you really don't like an orchestrate, if you prefer a whole player or box-to-box version, you might prefer those versions. But if you discount the player style, just look at all the numbers, I think this is probably just about the best version of Mac Allister that we've had. Compared to his GP card, nice boost overall, had a bunch of attributes boosted, but his passing has been nerfed. But to be fair, it's still good enough. You're still going to hit if you're on A form, certainly you're still going to hit 90 on low pass. And like I say, the rest of the attributes is looking very nice on the ball. Good attacking awareness, good finishing. Defensively, all these going to be 80 plus with the game plan boost. He's looking good across the board, really. Boost on his pace, balance is decent, stamina's good enough, unwavering form. This is a good card. And looking at the skills, they have taken away penalty specialist and sliding tackle, and they've given us double touch and interception. I think that's a pretty nice trade. So with the passing, still got one touch pass through passing, got low lofted pass as well. You've got pinpoint crossing if you ever drifts out wide. first time shot. Hildrik's a nice one. The only one he's got really defensively is interception, but he does have decent defensive attributes though, so you could get away with him as a defensive mid, but I would say you need at least one other midfielder playing deep alongside him, doing some of the defensive work with him. Certainly as a centre midfielder, very nice indeed. Like I say, he's looking pretty strong pretty much everywhere. You could still use him as an attacking midfielder. If you play him as an attacking midfielder, he will not have an active playing style. Orchestrator won't be active there, but you can certainly play him as an attacking midfielder without an active playing style. I think he'll be getting forward enough with the attacking awareness, hitting 80 with the game plan boost. Nice on the ball, nice passing, nice finishing. I think he could be a very nice option as an attacking midfielder, to be honest. He's got a first-time shot as well, and of course he's got the passing skills. So yeah, not sure defensive midfielder is where you're going to get the best out of him, but you can certainly do it. But definitely as a centre midfielder or an attacking midfielder, in my opinion, the best version of Mac Allister that we've had. And on the whole, this looks like a really good card. So this, for me, is one of the better cards in the pack. And it's a similar situation with Gabriel Magalhães, actually, from Arsenal. So this is another booster card. And before the boost, it's one of the better versions of Magalhães that we've had. But when you activate the booster, it may be the best version. It's right up there. We've had loads of Player of the Week cards of Gabriel. Not a huge difference between the best versions. There was a Player of the Season one as well, Premier League Player of the Season last season. That one did have more skills. That might be something that sways it, because he's got a good section of skills there. They've added blocker and fighting spirit, so man mark, interception and blocker, and then heading no superiority. I think sliding tackle and acrobatic clearance that are really the two that he's missing. So like I say, the Player of the Season one, maybe one or two others have better skills, but he's got most of the important skills here. He's got all the skills he really needs as a centre back, the most important ones. Speed is where he's got the biggest boost. That's the one biggest difference between this one and other ones. And stamina. He's got really good speed and stamina. They always seem to do that on Player of the Week centre backs. Physically very strong. Not got great jumping, but 6'3". He's got air superiority, so he'll be all right in the air. The defensives are strong. Down the left, he's decent enough on the ball. He's going to hit 70 with the ball control and tight possession. It's good for a centre back. Well, it's decent enough. Passing's pretty nice for a centre back. So yeah, this is one of the best versions we've had of Gabriel Magalhães. I think it's possibly the best with A form. Looks like a really strong centre back, to be honest. Again, he's a destroyer. Personal preference. If you like that playing style, great centre back. I'm kind of impartial. I don't mind having one destroyer at centre back as long as I've got a build up alongside him, because destroyers do step forward. If they can get caught out of position at times, I find them more likely to get caught out of position than build ups. But yeah, it's just personal preference. If you don't mind that playing style, this is a good version of him. He's got good speed, like I say, for a centre back. No real major weakness there. He's not got great balance, I guess, and kicking power as well. Be careful with that. You don't want to underhit your passes in front of your goalkeeper. But yeah, unwavering form as well. I think he's been changed to unwavering form quite recently, and he might be missing one or two skills, but he's got the most important one. So this for me is right up there with the best versions of Gabriel, and it's another good solid centre back, and it's one of the better cards in the pack. So there you go. There's your Champions League Player of the Week pack. I think it's another decent pack, to be honest. I think the three highest rated really are the better ones in the pack. And to be honest, the Ketelaere looks really nice to me. I think De Vrij, Llorente, two solid cards. Di Maria is not going to suit everyone, but if you like a cross specialist and you don't mind the fact he's a little bit slow for a winger, could be a very nice one. Could be a nice SS as well. Tammy, not a bad card, just not an amazing one. Martín, very usable left back. I think it's just these last two. Maeda, I just don't think he's good enough on the ball really for the kind of profile that he's got. And this guy, just not very good, obviously. But yeah, most of these cards are at least decent enough. And now some nice ones, higher rated ones. For me, Neuer could be a fun one. I think I'd mainly just use him in co-op just for a laugh, because you're just going to get lobbed, aren't you? But it's certainly a fun looking version of Neuer. For me, De Ketelaere, Neuer, Di Maria, they're my targets. Di Maria and De Ketelaere are the two I want the most. So I might as well do my free spins now, mightn't I? Let's see who I get. I'm clearly going to get the 4-star. We all know how bad my pack luck is by now. Bring it on. I'm not even going to try and say his name. The guy from Lille. Who we getting? Oh, it's Gabriel. I always get Gabriel. I mean, I can't complain. It's a great card, but yeah. Right. One more chance to get Di Maria or De Ketelaere. Come on, be kind for once. Oh, I got Neuer. Oh, I can't complain. Looks like a fun one. I'll stick him straight in my cart squad. Give him a try later on. Could have been worse then. So there is your Champions League Player of the Week pack. Hopefully you found that useful. Let me know who you've spun. Let me know who you want to spin. I think it's a decent enough pack on the whole. Some pretty good cards in there. As I mentioned at the start, the regular Player of the Week review went up yesterday. It's live on the channel. Some player faces went live as well. Did the first player face video. I'll try and do 1 or 2 more to cover the rest of the faces if I can find the time. And of course, the next video will be nominating contract packs and match pass players. So that one I'll try to start on that today and get that one live sometime over the weekend. So keep your eyes out for that one. Keep your eyes on the Discord and the community tab. Thank you for watching as always. Really appreciate it. Have a great weekend. I'll see you soon.